So let me get this straight. You were at the party last night talking with the boys. You're having a good time. You leave your boys, you go to take a shit, maybe drop some acid. Somehow, 5 minutes later, the circumstances align and you find yourself talking to Jessica, your longtime crush since 3rd grade. You and her are talking, hitting it off. You have no idea how you got here, or what to do, or how to even impress her. To your demise, she says, "I only like boys with good mechanics." Fuck! There's no way she's going to like you. You only hit platinum last week, you can barely hit the ball. You own goal like 5 times every game. Your matches consist of which team own goals less than the other. It's over. It goes without saying you didn't get any that night, and now you're at home like shit. I gotta be at least able to do a flip reset. Well, don't you worry, I will be your sensei. I'm going to adopt you and start raising you as my own son. I'm here to save you. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to land all 4 of your wheels on her and do a backflip and kick that bitch in her fucking face. Don't put up with a girl who likes you only for your mechanics. Trust me, it's a trap. Now, without any more of my dumb retard antics, strap yourselves in, wank off so that your immune system increases, stay safe from the coronavirus, don't you dare go outside, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's do some flip-a-flops. There's a few ways you can set up a flip reset. The most common way is to set up from the wall, sort of like an air drag or a roof shot or pretty much any mechanic these days. Another way to set up a flip reset, you could chip it up from the ground when the ball's like rolling towards you or whatever. Or you could just like be going for some random area and go fuck it. Flip reset! Or if you're really good, you could drop off the roof and do one of these. Fuck, I'm washed. Maybe you do something entirely different that I can't even comprehend. Like maybe you set up the ball using this new mechanic that Super Cronovi Killer invented when Xbox controllers added a C button, where it makes you go back in time and you have to kill a fucking fly or some shit while trying not to make contact with yourself from the past, otherwise you create a paradox, sending the world into utter chaos, which kinda makes this mechanic kinda risky to pull off in an actual game. However, the risk is greatly outweighed by the reward. The death of this fly changes the course of history, so that by the time you travel back to when you were setting up the flip reset, everything stops. You and the ball are floating harmoniously. You touch its pee-pee. And then you whiff because you're shit. Now you know the different ways you can set up the flip reset. You actually have to go and get the flip reset now. This is a step that separates the men from the boys. When you make contact with the ball, you don't actually want to be hitting the ball with your wheels. Think about it like this. Imagine a rectangle on the bottom of your car. Well, I guess your car is technically a rectangle from the bottom. But envision like a smaller rectangle within the rectangle. That's the part of the car that you want to be hitting the ball with. But yeah, there's not really much I can say about that. You just kind of have to get a feeling for it. But what I can talk about is ways to make the approach easier. If you're just learning, which you most likely are, you're watching a flip reset tutorial. When you practice, you should be aiming to get your flip reset when the ball is around its apex. That way you have a lot more time to shoot and you have a lot more options. And it's just generally easier because when the ball is at its apex, it's staying still. And that way you don't have to worry about catching up to the ball as much. If your flip resets consist of you getting the reset, then mashing the jump button and hoping for the best, you're probably getting the flip reset when the ball is dropping, because you don't have a lot of time and you just make the shot as quick as possible before you start getting too close to the ground. Another thing that can happen when you get the reset, when the ball is dropping, is that you can bounce off the ball really hard and end up being too far away or too close to the ground. In an ideal world, you want to be getting your flip reset and looking down on your opponents and be able to say,
"It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! You underestimate my power! Don't try it!"
And getting the flip reset while the ball is still rising is also difficult because it's really hard to boost towards the ball while still being in a position that allows you to hit the ball with your wheels in a swift manner. But saying all that, it's not impossible to do a good shot when you don't get it at its apex. It's just ideal if you do. And here's a little tip that I'm gonna give you, just because I love you. This is a tip that helped me a lot when I was learning. Basically, when I was first starting, My initial instinct was to be setting up from the wall and using the same setup I'd use for an air drag, where you jump at the same time as you'd hit the ball, which is a setup where you end up, you and the ball, having the same speed. But for a flip reset, you want to be coming in from a different angle with more momentum than the ball. The way you do this is instead of jumping off the wall like you would an air drag, you want to hold up for a second before jumping. While you're waiting, how about you treat yourself by going on a nice relaxing walk outside? I know it's not easy. Being confined within these walls with endless amounts of content at your fingertips. Subscribe to my channel, by the way. Anyway, once you've done all that, you can jump off the wall and do the flip reset. And that's just a general guideline for how long I like to wait before I jump off the wall. If that last step separated the men from the boys, then this step separates the gods from the kings. I already touched on this, but I think the way everyone first tries to make a shot off of a flip reset is to just spam jump, which sometimes you just get lucky and it fucks off into outer space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But not always. Most of the time it's just dog shit. But then, you get good. You can save your flip, make the opponent feel safe, and bait him. But we both know.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
And then there are people who can go even further beyond and go for a double, triple, infinite amount of flip resets, which is just insane, and I'm so washed, I'm not even gonna pretend I know how to do that. After you get your initial flip reset, make sure to adjust in the opposite direction before you commence the stall. To do a stall flip, you have to be holding air roll right or left, and then pointing your stick in the opposite direction, then jump. That is how you commence the stall. Now that you've mastered the stall flip, position your car under the ball, so that when you stall, you stay still while the ball comes down to you. And there you go, you've got your stall double flip reset. However, if you're bad at stalling, never fear. You can also do a regular flip, pre-flip, no flip, and aim to hit the ball with the underside of your car. And there you go, that's how you do multiple flip resets in one shot.
I bet you underestimated me, Barker.
I'm pretty much an intellect. My IQ is off the charts. I know everything there is to know, or so.
I'm the second coming of Christ, the god of mechanics. My power is undisputed. No one comes close.
Anyway, that's my flip reset tutorial. I don't know if it was more bullshit or helpful, but I hope you enjoyed it either way, and hopefully I'll be coming out with more videos since I'm a god and I'm actually uploading now. Oh, I think I'm gonna be calling this maybe like a series like Bad2Chad. Anyway, so now that you're Chad now, my work here is done.